Hey, so a common question I get from startup founders is, what's a process that I go through to look for funding from Tundra Angels? And the process is that reach out to me on social, on email, LinkedIn. We'll have a conversation about your business. And so we'll talk about business, premise, problem, solution, go-to-market strategy, fundraising details, and things like that. And what I do is have conversations with startup founders and figure out which companies should pitch for our group for funding. So on a quarterly pitch meeting basis, I select 3 to 4 startups to pitch larger Tundra Angels investor group. Startups get a 8-minute pitch, 8-minute Q&A, and then 5-minute investor discussion. After that meeting, startup founders will know what the next steps are from a Tundra Angels perspective. If the group is interested in pursuing the company, then we take that company into due diligence, run our due diligence process, which likely includes a number of people who are in Tundra Angels, investors in Tundra Angels who are strategic to the company in consideration. And we do deep dives on financials, market, go-to-market strategy, things like that. If we reach that point and we feel really good about what we've seen through that due diligence process, then we put that out for commitment. And at that point, investors can either opt in or choose not to invest in that particular startup company. When it's all said and done, we've written checks from $100,000 all the way up to $500,000. So there's a number of ways that Tundra Angels adds value to companies after we invest. The first way is a network. So every investor in our group is an expert in a particular industry, niche, things like that. And they have specific types of business skills that likely that startup could leverage. And so this could be connecting with one of our investors that is strategic to the space that the startup is operating in, for that investor to open up doors, to do coaching, to do advising, things like that. There's also work that I do. So getting on the horn with the startup founder or founding team to coach them, to advise them, to navigate around their go-to-market strategy, next fundraise, et cetera. One of the ways that I personally find a lot of value for helping founders is activating later stage investors and sort of spotlighting some of our portfolio companies that are raising for those later stage investors. I frequently get on Zoom calls with later stage investors that are around the country, sometimes even around the world, that are looking to invest in startups in a particular niche, or sort of just generally speaking, startups in the Midwest or in a certain industry, and basically pitch those investors on some of the companies that Tundra Angels has invested in. In aggregate, our companies have raised millions of dollars as a result of the efforts and connections that Tundra Angels has been able to put together in our network. So that's one of many ways, but that Tundra Angels adds value via the network and the connections and the capital.